It almost feels like the world has just gone completely silent. Nothing to chase, nothing to conquer, nothing to achieve. All the experiences that we used to long for no longer carry that old spark of excitement anymore. A doctor might call it depression, but it doesn't feel like sadness. There isn't that empty pit. It more feels like indifference, as if the hunger that once driven you has simply burnt itself out. So it's like, what do you do from here? It's like a liminal void. I've been sat in this space for quite a long time throughout my awakening journey, and I was trying my best to surrender and just accept that the unfolding will happen naturally, and I will be pushed into some form of work or pursuit naturally. But yeah, it was quite frustrating at times because I'm believing that I'm waiting for something to happen, or it's like I'm sat there waiting for something to happen when nothing's actually happening. In fact, my life's actually getting worse on the outside. But yeah, I don't have any desire to pick up the pieces. I am doing that, but I have no desire to pursue, to achieve. Every time I'm writing down goals, they just feel empty and meaningless. And every time I try and get myself motivated or inspired to do some form of any specific work. I mean, what I was doing previously, I've tried going back into that. That no longer lit a fire in me anymore. I'm looking and trying to keep my mind open, but also trying to push myself in different directions just to try and get the ball rolling somewhere. But there's nothing seems to be sticking. Nothing seems to be settling in, and I don't feel like I'm getting that drive to pursue or yeah, just act out the same things that I was acting out before, like the goals I was setting and the dreams that I had and everything that I wanted to pursue. It just no longer, yeah, it doesn't have any excitement anymore. And I think it's what this process is all about is it is the in between phase of you transitioning from your old self, your past life, into your new self, a new life. Or so in order for you to do that, for you to cross over into this new timeline is you have to take some time to let go of all the old things you've been holding on to. So that might look like relationships, habits, coping mechanisms, jobs, ways of making money, ways of thinking, thought patterns, behaviors. It can be absolutely anything, or it can be absolutely everything. Every single area of your life may be targeted and completely dismantled, and it can feel like death. It can be excruciatingly painful going through this process because everything seems like it's falling apart, and you have no energy or desire to start repairing your life or doing anything to help it. But you need to surrender to this and allow your life to completely just unfold the way it's intending to, and just trust that the divine is working it out, everything out for your higher good. And the best thing you can do is just trust in that. And I know it can be difficult at times when obviously everything on the outside isn't going the way you would like it to, and you're not in the position you may believe you should be by now, and you've not got the things, you've not done the things. But the only reason you'd be thinking like that is through comparison, through comparing yourself to others or what society has believed you should be doing or told you should be doing. Because a lot of what the programs we're running on is they've been gifted to us, they've been shoved down our throats since childhood. And we've been running off these programs for way too long now. And the way, like, people's awakenings are getting supercharged at the minute. I feel like, and as just a collective level, everybody's getting ramped up and everyone's getting pushed forward to these new timelines. Not everybody can go forward, but the people that have been doing the work, they're regulated, they've allowed that space, they've been doing the work in the background, and you're open, you're receptive. These people are getting initiated. And if you're one of these people and you're listening to that video, this is probably going to resonate with you then today, because you feel like you're being initiated. You're not really doing anything, but you're just getting hit with things left, right, and center. But this isn't a negative. It may look like it at the time, but it's a positive, because these things have to go, these things have to die in order for you to be reborn. If this is hitting with you today and you feel like this could be you and you are currently experiencing this phase of your awakening, then I'm going to briefly explain with you in this video on firstly why it's happening and how to understand what's actually going on a deeper level, and get to recognize whereabouts you are in the process. And then obviously I'm going to give you some tips, strategies, or things that you can do to help you soften the blow a little bit and experience how help you improve the experience of this transition period that you may be in right now. So there's a nice little terminology that I come across online for when I was currently in transition myself and I was going through my own awakening. And I think it might be Carl Jung, I'm not too sure. Well, I mean, you can correct me on that. But they put it laid it out like this, so they call it Nigredo, which is the blackening phase, which is the ego death. So that would be the initial trigger point of the awakening, because after that you got to then fall back into the earth and you got to descent into the psyche or into the shadow self, they might say. Everyone else's experience is going to be individual to yourself. So mine, for example, the ego death was I've had quite a few now, and they're never pleasant. You genuinely feel like you're dying, and it is a horrible experience. But once that happens, then it's like you descend into the earth, you plant the seeds, and then from then you've got to flourish and grow. So you've got to keep watering the soil in order for the new life to grow. Your ego death experience, and you're going through that transition, and you're kind of feeling. After that, you will enter Albedo, which is the second phase, which I'm going to be speaking to you about today. And this is the liminal void space, which this can be the longest phase because it's the transition from your old self and all these things that you held on to, once again, relationships, habits, identities, careers, goals, desires, all these things that you've been holding on to that have been holding you back from becoming the person you are meant to be. These all need to fall off you, these all need to die. And then what you also need to do is you need to integrate the new parts of yourself that you're going to be taking along with you on this next chapter of your journey. And I think what a beautiful time, like the year's ending. I mean, this year has been chaotic to say the least. I mean, it's been a beautiful unfolding for me personally. It's been a beautiful unraveling. It's just been layer after layer after layer that I've been pulling back. I've not made any form of like business success or monetary success or anything like that, but I couldn't be grateful for how this year has planned out in terms of my own spiritual and personal evolution. So yeah, I think how it's all landing right now. I think there's a lot of people on a collective level going through these similar phases and this similar situation in terms of the transition onto this new timeline for the new year. I mean, it's so divinely orchestrated, you can't even deny it. So yeah, I'm gonna jump back into this liminal space, into Albedo, and yeah, gonna give you the information of what's actually happening in this phase and what not to do, what to do and what not to do. Firstly, what is actually happening is, once again, you're in the transition period. You just got to look at it like this. You have to give yourself time, have to give yourself grace. I understand you've still got due diligence. You might still have to be going to your job. You may still have to be doing work. You may still have to be doing things to tick you over. But just aim to do the bare minimum in this phase. Get the bills paid, get security done. And then after that, just allow yourself time to rest and recover and integrate this process, because it's a lot to take on board and it's going to be very taxing on the nervous system. So you need to be in a chilled, safe space where you can allow yourself to regulate. Otherwise, you're just going to mess up the process and you're going to end up either causing yourself more suffering, or you could potentially just stay stuck where you are in the same habits. If you keep going to old coping mechanisms and old habits and repeating the same cycles, then you can end up just either prolonging the period, making the period more difficult than it needs to be, the process more difficult than it needs to be, or just completely stalling your own evolution by keeping yourself stuck in old thinking patterns and behaviours. So just let go. If anything feels like it's falling off you and it's going and it's fading and you feel like you need to cut ties with it, just allow that to go. And there's going to be a lot of grief in this phase. You're going to be grieving a lot of things, whether that is identities, careers, goals, desires, friendships. You're going to be grieving a lot of these things, but the sooner you can accept that, you're going to be gifted with your divine purpose. You're going to be gifted with your blessings. Once you do all this work and let go, you're entering a new timeline. So be prepared for some abundance. Be prepared for bliss. Be prepared to meet your soul tribe, your people. Because once you step into this authentic energy, this is what you're going to be aligned with. So you need to prepare yourself for this. As long as you can keep this mindset strong and understand that, listen, what I'm going through now is temporary and it's only a short-term process in order to set me up for a much bigger, better life in the future. So you just got to trust in that process, trust in God, and just believe that this is happening all as it intended to happen. All right, on the timeline that it did as well. That's another one of the desires that dies, is the timing. We believe in things should be happening on our time and when it should be happening, and you've got to surrender that. You've got to completely let go of that desire, believing that things should happen on your timeline. It has never happened on your timeline, and it never will. So just yeah, let go of control of this process and just allow it to unfold naturally. So I'm going to give you a few things that you can be doing, some practical things to help you soften the blow and smoothen this transition period into your new life. And by the way, if you're wondering how long this is going to last, there isn't, unfortunately. I couldn't give you a time frame. Mine's been months. Sometimes it's took a couple years. I mean, sometimes it might take a few weeks. It all depends on how much stuff you're trying to process, how much you're working through, and what you've got to actually go through in this transition period. So just once again, be graceful, be peaceful. Just don't put any thought in the time limit as thinking you should be doing something when you're not. And yeah, just don't give yourself too much pressure and too much hard work. Allow yourself to chill for as long as you need to, all right? That's the best thing you can be doing right now. If the life force is telling you to do that, you need to listen to them. So yeah, things that have been really helping for me is getting out and doing movement every single day. So if you've got nature reserve near you or something like that, brilliant. Get out in nature as much as you can. That's going to help regulate the nervous system and keep you grounded. Feet on the grass, going on long walks without your phone. Breath has found me naturally. I mean, I've been researched in breath work. I've done bits of breath work and stuff in the past, but this is just coming naturally to me now. I think subconsciously I'm recognizing my nervous system is a little bit heightened, so I'm naturally tapping into the breath. So deep inhalation, exhalation. You can do box breathing where you do 5 seconds in, hold 5 seconds, out 5 seconds, hold 5 seconds. I think it is 4, but I like to do 5 or 6 seconds. Makes it a little bit more engaging. And just deep inhalation and exhalation. Every time you can flip your mind to that conscious breath, you're going to be grounding your energy and being more present and regulating the nervous system. So the breath's an amazing tool. You can use that whenever. Getting out in nature, hot and cold therapy, whether that's in ice bath, cold shower, hot bath, sauna. Hot and cold therapy is really good to ground your energy and keep you regulated as well. Food, I love food. I mean, you've got to be careful because yeah, you can end up overeating and getting addicted to the food. But I mean, I'm gonna have to shout that out because it's been actually been really good. It's really been helped me ground, eating nice hearty meals, cooking nice hearty meals, really getting into my cooking and allowing myself to savor and enjoy my food in this period as well. This has been helping me keep grounded. Um, and then your training as well. You don't need to do anything like strenuous and overexert yourself, but just keeping ticking. You know, just doing like functional movements, bit of calisthenics work, bit of yoga, maybe some light jogs, a bit of bag work, a bit of martial arts, but just yeah, nothing too intense. Don't put yourself in any high intense environments. Keep the stimulation as low as possible. Cut out caffeine if you can. No drugs or alcohol. Completely cut them out, especially in this phase when you're integrating. It's the worst thing you can do. It will send you to the pits of hell and you will not be able to return, or it'll take you a very long time to return. So yeah, I think just stay humble and just trust the process and believe that everything's unfolding for your greater good. If you're not where you want to be in life right now, good, but you are where you are meant to be, and your blessings will be upon you as long as you can surrender and continue to trust this process. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that one. So coming into around 15 minutes there. So yeah, I hope that helps people. I'll put a bit more information on these phases, Nigredo, Albedo. There's another one, I forgot what it's called. I always forget the name, so I'll put that in the title, and I'll give you some research where you can have a look and dive into these topics and expand your own knowledge of what you're actually going through and processing right now, because it's a lot bigger than you think it is. So yeah, give yourself the credit for that. All right, peace, Earth ones.